Imagine boarding a train and ending up 40 years in the future. Earth's future is a desolate post-apocalyptic jungle after a meteorite wipes out humanity. Stranded passengers must navigate this nightmare, uncover hidden secrets, and fight to reopen a wormhole back to 2023. Their mission? Warn the world of impending doom and alter Earth's fate. Will they succeed, or is humanity doomed? Join us as we recap the hit TV series Pending Train. It was a normal day in Japan. People boarded the train, heading to their destinations. As the train neared its final stop, phones began blaring. Massive earthquakes were hitting different parts of the world. The tremors reached them too. The shaking grew worse, especially as the train entered a tunnel. Panic set in. People lost their balance, toppling over each other, confusion and fear in their eyes. What was happening? No one knew, and then abruptly the train screeched to a halt, jolting everyone into sheer terror. Instantly, they scrambled out, desperate to escape. What met their eyes outside was beyond belief, plunging them into shock and tears. Their familiar world was gone, replaced by looming mountains and a dense jungle. The train was wedged in a tunnel, half buried. Panic set in as they realized their phones had no signal, no way to call for help. The next horrifying discovery? Only coach number 5 was there. The rest of the train had vanished. With no other explanation, they concluded their coach had somehow been transported to this unknown, terrifying place. Now they knew rescue was their only hope. Sam, a government firefighter, was among the passengers. Without hesitation, he and the train attendant took charge, calming terrified passengers and checking for injuries. Yumi was there too, lending a hand. She had met Sam before during a fire escape training session. Since then, Yumi had looked up to him with immense admiration. Back in the city, panic and confusion gripped everyone, even the police. They were baffled, unable to explain where the last 2 train coaches, numbers 5 and 6, had vanished. They traced the track right up to the disappearance point, but the missing coaches were nowhere to be found. What's even more chilling? Coach number 6 remains a mystery. Earlier, I only mentioned coach number 5, but coach 6 has vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, Sam, Yumi, and another passenger named Nevin decided to explore further. They moved away from where half of their coach was stuck in the tunnel. Emerging from the tunnel, they were stunned. It looked like there were no signs of life, as if everything had been destroyed years ago. Quickly, they climbed a nearby mountain to get a better view, and what they saw was even more shocking. The landscape was completely different from what they knew. It seemed like they had traveled to a different time. Back on the train, panic spread as passengers counted everyone in coach number 5, 46 people in total. Hungry and thirsty, and with no food or water, things turned desperate fast. Rennie, rummaging through Nevin's bag for something to eat, found letters that made her suspect Nevin was a criminal. Shockingly, she then stole food from someone else's bag. When a passenger noticed their food missing, Rennie loudly accused Nevin. Chaos erupted. Suddenly, most passengers fell into a huge hole, but just in time, Sam and Yumi swooped in to save them. Night fell, and by morning, disbelief hung in the air. It wasn't a dream. They were truly stranded. Paranoia spread like wildfire. The few who had dared to explore returned with scraps of information, desperate to make sense of their whereabouts. One unsettling report stood out, a massive tower to the east, a tower that wasn't supposed to exist. The passengers put the pieces together and realized something shocking. Their train coach had somehow jumped 40 years into the future. It was 2023 when they boarded, but now it was beyond 2063. Panic set in as they grasped the horrifying truth. Earth seemed abandoned. Their first challenge? Finding a way back to 2023. The next? Figuring out what had happened to Earth to leave it in such a desolate state. As they kept exploring, they found clues of water, a frog and wet soil. They were on the right track. They sped up and finally stumbled upon a small waterfall, which gave them all a huge sense of relief. During this moment, Nevin opened up about the letters in his bag. They were from his brother, who had been in jail for 2 years and had just gotten out 2 days ago. Nevin shared that they had a rough childhood, and the letters were his brother's way of trying to reconnect. Yumi accidentally ate a poisonous plant. Thankfully, it wasn't deadly, but it was a wake-up call. Forced to adapt, they started crafting utensils from forest trees and making tools to start fires, even using their ATM cards as makeshift knives. Just days ago, they relied on modern conveniences, and now they drew on nature's resources to survive. This shift showed their true capabilities, showcasing human resilience and adaptability. Treating injuries was a huge challenge. Yuto, a young boy, overcame his fears and used Shane's botanical knowledge to find plants with antibacterial properties to prevent infection. He also found clean clothes to dress the wounds. After 3 tense days, Shane recovered and warned the group about a dangerous stranger in the jungle. To stay safe, they followed Yechi's advice. Yet she worked for a security company and stressed the importance of being vigilant. During this wait, Sam shared a haunting story from his past. He recalled a major mistake at work where he ignored his senior's advice. This led to a horrible accident, and his senior lost both legs. Sam felt deeply responsible for this tragedy. This overwhelming guilt drove him to dedicate his life to helping others. To their shock, despite the darkness, the boy returned with more people. They were then led to a settlement where the survivors of Coach 6 had made their surroundings livable, even setting up kitchens and toilets. Nevin spotted the guy from Coach 6, the same one who ran away and hurt Shane. The man, shaking with fear, confessed that he acted out of panic. He was scared they might be hostile, so he shoved Shane and bolted. He'd kept quiet about meeting Sam, Yumi, and Nevin's group because he was terrified. But then Yumi and Sam grilled him. How did he know they weren't dangerous? This sparked a deeper dive into their predicament, and the truth started to unfold. Hector, a leader among the Coach 6 survivors, revealed a terrifying truth. Earth's environment was destroyed by a massive meteorite impact. The dust from the impact blocked sunlight, causing human life to collapse. But over the years, the dust settled, and by 2060, Earth turned green again. But without humans. Hector stressed that if they got back to 2023, their top priority must be to warn the government about the meteorite to prevent the disaster and save billions, including their families and loved ones. The next day, a group of passengers searched Coach 6 to rescue Yumi from Hector's clutches. Instead, they found a buried body, evidence of a brutal fight. Hector spilled the truth. When they time-traveled, a criminal among them threatened everyone's lives. In a deadly clash, Hector killed him in self-defense. This desperate act to save everyone had turned Hector into their leader. Yumi broke free and rushed back to the group, revealing Hector's shocking plan. He wanted to trap them all in this time by destroying any chance of getting back home. Rejected by the group, Hector desperately tried to convince them to stay, painting a rosy picture of their situation. A pristine Earth with endless resources, no overpopulation, and a fresh start for humanity. Meanwhile, in 2023, a scientist named Ray was combing through CCTV footage, desperate to solve the mystery of the vanishing train coaches. His eyes widened as he saw it, a wormhole tearing open in the tunnel at the exact moment the coaches disappeared. They were sucked into this gaping void, but where they ended up was a question no one could answer. Back in 2060, passengers from Coach 6 rebelled against Hector's vision. Determined to return to their time, they discovered the meteorite fragments had extraordinary properties unknown on Earth. Seizing this, they aimed to harness enough energy to create a wormhole themselves. A fierce storm struck one night, wrecking their shelter and ruining their food. In the chaos, a passenger proposed they hide in the tunnel behind the train to escape the storm's fury. When they opened the tunnel door, they were shocked to find another wormhole, its power unleashed by the storm's energy. They couldn't believe their eyes. A doll pulled through the wormhole proved a shocking link between 2023 and 2060. The doll, made in China in 2060, was undeniable proof that the wormhole connected these two periods. Desperate to reopen the wormhole, they realized they needed a massive power source. Then they found an old electric generator, still holding a significant charge after all these years. This incredible discovery sparked hope, hinting they might have the power needed to reopen the wormhole. The group hatched a daring plan. They'd use the new power source to flood the tunnel with electricity when the next storm hit. The goal? Expand and stabilize the wormhole just long enough for everyone to escape. As the storm roared to life, they fired up the electric generator. It worked. The wormhole grew and steadied. Sam and Yumi urged Nevin to join them, but he hesitated, fear gripping him as the storm raged. Despite the chaos, they all managed to jump onto the train. It sped into the wormhole, hearts pounding, clinging to hope they'd return to their own time. Emerging from the wormhole, the train's doors burst open, and security swarmed in. Passengers, frantic, demanded the date. They were back in 2023. Authorities swiftly quarantined them, fearing radiation or infections from their journey to the future. Desperate, the passengers recounted their incredible trip to 2060 and back, showing proof, meteorite fragments, and bizarre plants. They even presented a diary detailing a timeline predicting Earth's destruction on December 9, 2026 from a meteorite impact. The urgency and gravity of their story were palpable, but would anyone believe them? Despite initial skepticism, their story exploded as more evidence came to light. Nevin, who had unexpectedly reunited with his younger brother, sought forgiveness for his past crimes, revealing that Nevin's disappearance 3 years ago had driven his transformation. The reunion flooded them with joy, offering a clean slate for their relationship. Meanwhile, the other survivors, though comforted by reuniting with loved ones, were haunted by the chilling knowledge that Earth's end was near. The government was skeptical at first, but Ray and the survivors' viral campaign and solid evidence changed their minds. They launched a last-ditch space mission to divert the meteorite and prevent a catastrophe. As the crucial moment arrived for the rocket to intercept the meteorite, confirmation came in. The mission succeeded. The rocket had altered the meteorite's course, saving Earth from destruction.